She wants attention overtime.
That's why she came to me.
Overtime. If you could turn to a male cat and fuck her, she'd be happier. Goddamn. That's what she wants. So she'll take touches. Anything close to it.
When I talk to a lot of these teenagers out here, I had shared a poem. When I start the poem, a lot of them don't like it. A few times I've been booed at some of the high schools. But then when they hear the content, when they hear the method and the message, then I get their attention. These rappers, because I talk about the rappers, too many rappers, they want to get paid, get their pockets fat. But then the entertainment industry really ain't all that. There's just a few major labels and they write all of the rules. Most rappers get exploited, made to look like fools. Now there's some rap stars who think they live in large, flashing lots of bling bling, driving fancy cars, but just when they think that life is so sweet, the boss man pulls the rug from their feet. No job security, no pension plan, big bills to pay more than they can stand, and when those IRS dogs bite that ass, careers get shattered like broken glass. They fall from the top, they back on the block, selling crack rocks. Oh, here come the cops. Thousands of men and women caught in this trap. And damn near all of them are young and black. Wow. It's time for a new style of inspiration. Our young folks are in a state of desperation. They're out here fighting for their very lives. Some trying to rap, some trying to sell crack just to survive. Occupation skills are a necessity. We got to help them train for careers so they can get off these streets. It's time for them now to be wise and strong because there's another set of children coming right along. It's time for a new style of inspiration. It's time for a new style of inspiration. It's time for a new style of inspiration. Our young folks in a state of desperation. It's time for a new style of inspiration. It's time for a new style of inspiration. It's time for a new style of inspiration. Black youth are targets for annihilation. And we got a bad situation in the hip-hop nation. All these motor-mouth fools spreading self-degradation. And they're talking about the same old ghetto tales, just trying to get paid from their CD sales. And there's nothing else in life that they're even trying to do. A lot of low riding and high siding with their crew. And I hate this image of the rapper. The young, ignorant black man, foul mouth, drooping jeans, and his crotch in his hand. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? No, young man, I don't know what you're saying. But what I'm saying is we got too many rappers writing whack-ass rhymes. Too many rappers wasting all of our time. Too many rappers trying to be so fine when they really need to what? Educate their mind. I say there's too many rappers writing whack-ass rhymes. Too many rappers wasting all of our time. Too many rappers trying to be so fine when they really need to what? Educate their mind. Now, way back in 1983, Run DMC told sucker MCs, y'all don't even know your English, your verbs and nouns. You just running around town like sad-faced clowns. But here in the 21st century, too many rap lyrics, pure profanity. All these wannabe pimps chasing money and guns. And the booty-shaking hoochies twerking their buns. I say there's too many rappers writing whack-ass rhymes. Too many rappers wasting all of our time. Too many rappers trying to be so fine when they really need to what? Educate their mind. But something new is jumping off, so y'all need to get hip. There's conscious poets kicking lyrics on a positive tip, encouraging kids to study science and math so we can lead our folks on a positive path. Rebuild our neighborhoods, make them strong, help to teach the kids right from wrong. Hip-hop just might be the key to elevate all of humanity. But then, there's too many rappers writing whack-ass rhymes. Too many rappers wasting all of our time. Too many rappers trying to be so fine when they really need to what? Educate their mind. Too many rappers writing wickety-whack rhymes. Too many rappers wasting all of our time. Too many rappers trying to be so fine when they really need to what? Educate their minds, their minds, their minds, their minds, their minds.
That's a classic. It always has been. I've always loved that piece. And, you know, it's like a fine painting.
I've been doing that for 10 years. I wrote that a long time
You
ago.
appreciate it, but then you hear it again, there's something more that you appreciate because the fact is that, you know, you made it clear that we have a solution. You know, I mean, it's like all's not lost because you even gave hip hop its permanence. I always say that hip hop could be a Rolls Royce of all of our creative energies. The only problem is you gotta be careful as to who the driver is.
Yeah.
Because if you got a bad driver in a Rolls Royce, it could be a fucking wreck before noon.
Yeah.
And that's what hip hop has become, a wreck in many cases. I mean, because hip hop, but it's got the attention of the entire world. Hip hop has eclipsed jazz. Jazz was the most influential music coming out of America in the world. Hip hop is taking that over because hip hop connects directly to the young people. And that's something that young people haven't been given anything remotely close. I mean, rock and roll did, R&B a little bit, but hip hop goes to young people who are not necessarily musically inclined, but they got something on their minds. They got something that they want to say something. They have to have a means of expression. Hip hop has made it possible for every young person on the planet to have a means of expression and not be able to sing.
That's it. You know, I really felt, I heard an interview with Jackie McLean on Gil Nova. This was shortly before he passed away. And he'd been developing a jazz music legacy for decades, Jackie McLean. And he never was able to get rich, of course, but he has such a great, fascinating body of work. But he has a grandson. His son Renee has a son, Renee Jr. And his grandson never went to college. He dropped out of school, but he got involved with hip hop, pulled together some rappers, got studio, built his own studio. Next thing you know, with just a few short years, this young boy blew up, millionaire from the hip hop industry. Started off selling CDs out the trunk of the car, you know, and next thing you know, the underground built up. So here's Jackie McLean. He ain't never had $1 million. No. And here's his grandson who dropped out of school and become a millionaire in hip hop, in the industry. You know. So he said, man, this music industry is fucked up.
But see, you know, the hip hop thing to me is that like it was on life support from birth. It's not dead like Nas said, but it was on life support. And the reason I say that, them hip hoppers was disrespectful to the elders. They treated the mothers and sisters and daughters like a piece of shit, all this whores and bitches and all this other shit. And they had a fucked up understanding of economics. It's just back me kind of shit, not we. You know, Muhammad Ali came out of Harvard and said, me, we, the shortest poem in the world, that sum everything up, it's about me. It's unbreakable bond. But the hip hop was like, it's just me, I do it by myself. And even with some of the great ones that came out of there, they dropped the baton later on. But you don't hear nothing about KRS going down. Even though that lost his mind with the temple of hip hop because he thought that was just him. So he didn't bring other people like Chuck D and all of them that should have been brought into a temple of hip hop if you really gonna do a temple of hip hop to me. So but KRS because it's the arrogant, you know, the boom box, he blew a motherfucker away. But he blew himself away. See, that's the contradiction. He blew himself away. So hip hop dropped the baton. They had the potential. That's why I come up with a new concept called DD Hip. Because I believe that like people like Brother P over here and other people, they represent that next level of sound, the DD Hip. And that ain't saying that like hip hop don't have value, but it's saying that like look, you know. That's old school.
Well, just like what Doon said a little while ago, you do have some hip hop artists. You might as well just say they're poets of this generation, like J. Cole, like her, Kendrick Lamar. Okay, so they're representing hip hop, but they've taken it to the level and to a direction that is not degrading. That's not self-destructive. I'm out there in Texas, man, and all I hear is what they call the dirty South, and they still talking about carrying guns and the AKs, and we gonna wipe out this crew, and right. Got this, you know.
Look at Pop Smoke, like he was literally letting them.
Yeah, and they get all the radio airplay, and it's such a terrible thing because they call themselves, of course, because of the FCC, you cannot say these curse words on the air, So they just blank out the little a millisecond of the curse word. But hell, everybody knows, the kids know what the word is.
Exactly. That gives the word more prominence.
Exactly. That's even more empowering.
Anytime, first of all, it's human nature that the very thing that you're banning is gonna have more
Right.
interest and
Yeah.
curiosity in that.
Oh,
I wanna know what you're putting on ban. What is it that you don't want me to see?
Right.
That's the only thing that I'm looking for. This shit that you got on display, I see that. I want to see the shit that you don't want me to see.
Don't come in here.
And when you hear that little blank, it pops in. Yeah, fuck. She just said fuck.
It's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. But see, this is people not understanding human nature. I mean, human nature is gonna. First of all, curiosity is the sign of intelligence. So if you're gonna be smart at all, it's because there's a part of you that wants to know something. And then if you really is being smart, you don't want to just know something, but you want to know that which is going to empower you. Now, if this one cat is sitting in a situation of power, now you want to know what he knows because you definitely would like to get to the position also. But at the same time, you know, you start checking him out, and his nature is not to be forthright in terms of sharing with you. He'll give you a little something, but he's not going to give it all to you. So it's not only do you want to know what he's going to show you, what he cares to share with you, but you want to know what he's not going to teach you at all. So that becomes a major goal, where you have to sneak into his office in his mind or something when he's asleep. You know, we got to find, what is it that he's afraid to show me that would empower me even more? And I think the whole key is that we're in a situation where this character who has been considered our captors, our captives, whatever, knows that he captured some spirits and some brains that he could never, ever, ever measure up to. And he was prayed that for some reason he could force us into submission, and that has never worked. Because black folks are going to always bust out. You cannot stop a tidal wave, and we represent that. So to contain us, to try to keep us in a situation where we're housed in certain areas and we're performing certain duties like sports and harmless things, don't get too politically crazy, because we don't need you to upset our political machine. That's a problem. So Malcolms of the world, Martin Luther Kings of the world, the Black Panthers of the world are all in jeopardy of having a short reign, because those particular people and entities challenge the system economically and in terms of its moral relationship with us as
You
well.
know, some of our greedy people have certain kind of petty jealousy. They don't want to see the generation coming after them surpass them, so they would not prepare them, take them up under their arms and so on. You get it all the time. Doom is an exception. Like when Gil Scott bit on his song, he said he took it to graduate school.
Yeah.
But we have to recognize that we all just stay on each other's shoulders in the first place. And nobody, hey, who's original? What is original? Come on. You get ideas. And we claim this is original. This is, I mean, I have songs I've written, I got CDs where I've written some songs I think are great. And yes, I'll go down in the copyright book as having wrote the lyrics and wrote the music and all that, but I'm sure that you can trace my music back to something that somebody did that's very similar to it. I mean, it's gotta be a connection, because it's all been done before. Ain't nothing new. I just wanna be, the thing that I think is required of each of us as a human being is that be true to yourself, no matter what the fuck. You can't go wrong if you're honest with yourself. But there's a key to that a lot of folks don't seem to understand. Because that was the first law, that's one of the major laws in Kemet. To thine own self be true. And that sounds wonderful, and it is absolute, that is truth, absolutely. But to know yourself
Know thyself, yep.
is to be the key. A lot to thine own self be true is fine, but to know thyself is very important. Because you cannot be true to yourself if you don't know yourself. If you don't know yourself, What are you true to?
See, when you know yourself, you got the feeling, you got the ear. See, when they came to ancient Canaan or Egypt, they seemed to know thyself. But what did they do? They said, man know thyself. Man ain't had shit to do with it. To know thyself includes both the so-called male and female. To know thyself. But you said man, you put man up higher.
Who did that?
The white folks, and they came
Well,
over.
but we can't.
But I'm saying, but we are bought into that man know thyself, but the patriarchal order.
Well, that's
We
stupid.
treat our women just like they treat me.
Yeah, well, some of us do because we're stupid, but a lot of us we don't because we know better. And your spirit should tell you which way to go with that.
Yeah.
Ain't nowhere in the world. I mean, listen, like you know as well as I do, because how do you judge the values? We've been through this before. You judge the values by judging the curse word. What's our major curse word? Motherfucker. Why? Because we value mother more than we value anything else. It ain't fatherfucker, it's motherfucker. You can say fatherfucker all you want. It's alliterative and everything, but it doesn't have the same vibe.
No, sure don't. Don't roll off the tongue like that.
No, it don't.
I didn't even think about that.
That's my motherfucker.
Right. Nah,
And
but-
they and white folks, what's their favorite word? Curse word. What white folks' favorite curse word?
Nigga,
Huh?
nigga.
No.
No, think deep. What they
When the
favorite?
white people say when they get mad, what
Damn.
they call you?
Damn it.
Asshole.
Asshole.
Really?
Yeah.
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 You're an asshole.
And if you really
Yeah.
just monkey, you're a
Fucking
fucking asshole.
Asshole. Yeah.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
because they support that homosexuality.
And that's what they value. They value the asshole. The asshole is a lot more attractive to them than coochie. Coochie is, you know, somebody could probably make a lot of money just say, to white men, coochie is a problem. I'm serious. Coochie is threatening to them because coochie is large, and then it lubricates, it's like even more larger. Now you are not given the equipment to deal with that coochie. You feel very bad. So what you do is you supplement by saying, telling your woman, I want to do it from the back, and you put your dick in the asshole. And that's out of order. The blood of God should never ever be in any hole full of shit. I mean, I know there are people, there are men who marry each other, and one is called one the wife and the husband and all that kind of stuff. And when they go to bed at night, they're gonna make love. If making love means that this man, one of you all, put your dick in somebody's asshole, you are actually creating a biological, spiritual, and mental degradation that is unnatural and uncalled for. I know men who are feminine in their energy, but they still know where their penises go, and they know that they'll go no asshole. I know brothers. I know some people, guys who are married to women who don't fuck them in the pussy. They like to fuck them in the ass. Something must be wrong with your penis if it's going in the
Yeah.
ass. Because your penis shouldn't even be able
Or
to
your
fit
and
right there.
your mind.
I mean, but this has become an acceptable practice. And we all say, and people say, oh, well, but whatever makes you happy, whatever. That is a sick way of and he's gonna tell me this makes you happy. That is out of order.
See, happiness can't be that. I mean, you can't put any justification for being happy.
It's out of order. This is a place where vows are extracted from.
Listen, right now, I don't know if you understand where we're living in. There's
There's so much.
there's a
out there.
thing called bussy.
Oh no, they're not gonna understand.
What
They
is
gonna
that? I don't
understand it
know.
today.
No,
They gonna
no.
understand this thing.
Yo.
I don't know.
What are you talking about, Rain?
There's a thing called bussy.
What is that?
Bussy.
Busing.
Bussy. Like
Yeah,
pussy.
they don't call the if it's a guy and a guy, they don't call it the asshole. It's like man pussy, so it's like they call it pussy.
They call it bussy.
Yeah,
Oh,
So he got a bussy.
yeah. pretty
I don't got no bussy.
much. Do you realize? Do you realize you just gave him roasting material for the next century?
No, but
You realize that,
that's
right?
okay. You can't use that on me because I know I ain't got no bussy. But there are guys out there, it's not just guy, like this world is crazy, who's like queer and letting girls do that to them.
Let me tell you something.
Like they got bussies.
And you don't know
It's a real word, like people are using, like it's in the urban
but like,
dictionary.
let me give you a little heads up. There's a
I mean, it's not right. I'm just saying, like, yeah,
in the prison down in North
the
Carolina,
world is crazy.
in the prison system, which is a pretty extensive prison system, because there's Central Prison, which is the wall, then they got a bunch of series of camps, like in different parts of North Carolina, like Oldham, Halifax, Caledonia. Caledonia is a prison camp that's so large, you could think you get away. The COs bet on who's gonna catch you first, and they ain't moving. They let you run, and then it's also known that if a farmer happens to see you and shoot you, they get $500 if they kill you. They get $350 if they just capture you alive. So
They kill me.
so killing your ass is much more is more cost effective. And then
Wow.
because it's a 10-mile, it's a 10-mile radius of a prison farm. But the term for gay guys in all that in that prison complex, North Carolina, is pussy boys. See, y'all say bussy.
I don't
They
say
call-
this
I'm
shit.
saying that-
I'm
I'm
just,
just saying
that's
that.
not.
And this has been a term that they've been using for like at least 70
No.
years. They call a guy that does
Y'all
that
here though.
is a pussy boy. And everybody knows ain't no pussy in prison. So they turn some boys into pussies and call them pussy boys.
Type shit.
And this is a culture. And I couldn't believe that it existed, but it does. And I mean, and I watched people perform those acts, and it was something that, you know, I just, all I could do was just pray for them. Because you don't know what to do with your Jimmy, there's no pussy in prison. I put my shit on layaway. You gotta be able to control your shit.
Yeah.
I mean, you got body parts, you can't control them, you don't deserve that body part. Ain't no
Relax.
pussy, why you gonna try to make a fake pussy out of asshole?
Right.
Yo,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It's an
yo,
illusion.
you doing a documentary?
Nah,
It's
you don't want to be recorded?
I didn't say that. I'm just wanting to know.
Nah, I was just recording.
What you got to share, man?
And by the same token, think about how crazy it is that somebody could create a religion, and then they say that the leaders of this religious order will not have sex. And they'll be more pious than the parishioners who come to pray. They'll be the closest thing to, because they will have married only God. Which means that they can't get no real physical dick or no real physical pussy. Because they have a spiritual connection with God and He fulfills their needs. So the priests were not allowed to get married. But yet their dicks a bit hard. And they had a craving, a human craving for human flesh against that hard dick. So all little boys who were altar boys, who were left by their parents to help the priests out in the church, became the girls. Isn't that interesting? All little boys. We don't even know the horrors of what's happening at those nunneries. With those nuns, but they tell me that you could dig up some grave sites of aborted fetuses that would blow your mind.
Whoa.
In the back of those nunneries where the nuns are.
Yeah.
So that means they've been fucking and getting pregnant and aborting the babies.
Yeah.
But who in the world would say that you're more spiritual if you don't have sex? So by having sex says that I'm less spiritual than I was if I didn't have sex? I'm closer to God if I'm a virgin?
I guess so.
And God gave me body parts to be used?
For no reason, you just got them shits.
Right.
God said,
Like dogs, for
Like dogs.
example. They
Like
just
you have a
like-
body part but you don't use it and that makes you more spiritual?
Yeah.
And that's the most sensitive of your body parts.
That's the most unnatural thing I could think of.
You know, in a society they say a dog, in a society they say a dog is a man.
the most
Think
unnatural
about
thing.
that. A dog
Never
do
thought.
something that no other animal do. What do a dog do?
Loyal.
Huh?
Like they'll stay by your side.
No, hell no. They put their fucking nose up another dog ass.
And they'll hump your fucking leg.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Those
They the
are
only
the-
animal. You don't see elephant, tigers, and shit and licking the ass of another tiger.
No, they don't do that.
Don't do that shit. Only a dog do that shit.
The
'Cause
dogs
he's
will
a
fuck the
hybrid
shit out your
of
leg,
a fucking
too.
wolf. He's a wolf. They the only animal. And then they eat the other dog shit. And I'm talking about dog, I love my dog. No, out of the fucking mind. The ancient people didn't have dogs, they had cats.
A cat is much more particular, and the cat is very choicy. Cats, they have their own decisions about things. Dogs are usually just obedient. You know, if you see one dog sees a bunch of dogs doing something, he's gonna join and do it just because they do it.
That's why it's hard to train a cat.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's really hard.
Because cats have their own mindset. You can call your dog, the dog will come with a
Cat gotta respect
He
you.
come
know,
lick
the
tail
train.
wagging.
Tail nag.
gotta
You tell a cat, the cat said, do
Come
it
in,
yourself.
the cat might turn and look at you and say, "You talking to me?" You kidding? I don't come like that. I come when I get ready.
to get a dog.
See, right. 'Cause I had two male cats before this female cat that I have now. Now I don't like this cat I have now because she's a female. I hate to say it, but a female cat is a fucking problem because she gets into heat. See, and I haven't done nothing to nuke her to stop her from having kittens if she got with a tomcat. But the fact is that I'm paying a price because every month she go through this. I'm in heat and I need some shit, you know. And she's been crying lately, like I don't know what it is, but she's been just making this crazy noise. And I know that she likes attention, and I'm not into petting her, and so consequently I don't have no real love for this cat. I fell in love with my two male cats because they were like, they were cool. Especially the first one, Simba was real cool. He was a warrior cat.
Well, I remember Simba.
And Simba like
Simba
women.
fucked up like 2 dogs.
But this cat just likes attention. It's just like, just pet me, hug me, pet me. You know, it's overmuch. And I like the fact that cats, generally speaking, they don't need a lot of attention. They just do their own thing. If they happen to be by you or you stroke them a couple times, it's cool, you know, they like you, and that's fine. But this cat wants to jump in your lap, jump in your bed. Oh yeah, she gets stupid. So I say, fuck you.
That's how my dog is. My dog is
Huh?
like, I have a dog and he's like so loving. Like with everyone that he meets, he just like wants to like be on top of him.
Yeah. And some animals, you know.
Just got here.
You seen it.
I got this
I
book.
figured you had it.
You know, I know his daughter stayed here for 2 weeks.
No. Gia. That's right. It was over the summer.
And yo,
She performed at the
after
African.
African Street
Yeah,
Festival.
yeah. Okay, I do remember that. And she came through Dallas also.
Yeah.
So here, she stayed here while she was here?
I had a chance to talk to her mother. Brenda said.
Yeah.
And she was thanking me for letting her stay here.
Oh, that's great.
You know, we had a short conversation.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about Jim Brown and how he mistreated her.
That was before Gia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was before
She
that.
making movies.
I think I remember
She
that.
stopped making movies, she never did.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah.
I think she was
Bicep and the second
one of
neck.
one of
She was
Jim's
fine as a mother.
girls. He threw off a balcony, but Jim treated him kind of rough. He's a roughneck.
Alright, Pop.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Where
Been a
you
minute.
been, man?
Huh?
Where you been?
Taking care of my granddaughter.
Granddaughter.
Granddaughter?
Yeah,
We got a granddaughter?
I do.
You old enough to have a granddaughter?
Hey, listen, he's
Hell
more than
yeah.
just rain. He's
He's
a thunderstorm.
Yeah. Okay.
So, alright. I told myself to time travel and became myself. Became twilight longing around the equator. Kissed tomorrow out of the lips of a Heineken bottle. Drank with my heart for the first time and heard the truth. Like ligaments told the moon, its glow is like a woman set on fire with hands outstretched ablaze with love. She desperately has been saving for a man that can kiss the breath back into her. Pressed in the blue black belly of a bubbling forethought that told stories like fingers moving across skin, became the distance between letting go and holding yourself upright, between the words come here and why are you here. I will tell you, I have known no season like the image of a dancing raindrop with the world balanced on the tip of its falling. Became myself, said self, there are things you long for in the wide open. Things only people with anvils for breath would understand. Would scream at the top of their eyelids how they agree. How the glimmer of it all is really just dull knives seen from a distance. Somewhere in the loving of you and the loss of you, I found out why I became a user-friendly screaming. A womanizing, generous heartbeat, trying to love the love back into the meaning of what it means to laugh like the cricket gone mad at the night. Found out how to swallow a mason jar for the echo it produces, to find comfort in the pack rat my pockets are sometimes. There is no blackjack left in me. There is nothing but relentless in the calm water my blood likes to pretend it is. Remembered, I was 5 fingers that missed their hands once, missed being connected to holding things. Maybe I hold a pen the way I should hold a woman. It's only because I know what it's like to have the simplest things taken away from you. And I am sorry if the craziest parts of you find me attractive. I no longer do the dance of moving, no longer go looking for ghosts, for anything that would make my pain run away from me. Became the feeling of not having to care what people think. Walked out into the world without putting a warning label on my thoughts. There is something divinely exquisite when you don't have to ask for permission. And sometime from now, I will meet you, and you will ask me, how did it happen? And I will tell you with a smile that can make the ozone's ribs hurt. Tell you everything made sense when I occupied the woman inside me.
Baby.
Now this is the word.
Put that in your. I know you gotta have a section. Classics. That's a classic. All right, it's a monster.
You see,
It's
I
a
always tell him
master.
he's the best of Jamaica
It's a,
because he's a dangerous man.
well, what he's done is
I would never leave. I would never leave you in my house with my girlfriend.
Stop
Because
it.
I come back.
Stop it.
I wouldn't have no girlfriend.
Oh, my God.
What Rain has done is that he understands the language, and he's able to put some living stuffing into the language so that we can not only see what he's talking about, but feel what he's talking about. You see, and that's the work of a poet. A poet is a word architect. You take words and you try to bring them to life. It's no different than what the painter does. The painter sits down with an easel, and he's got his brush and he's got his colors, and he wants to create an image that when you walk by, it'll make you stop and check it out. So that's the same thing with the poet. There's a gazillion poems on the planet. So what's gonna make you listen to my poem? I want to say something that's gonna catch your attention. Some people have to really work hard for that, and some people it comes very natural. Rain has it very naturally. Rain has it very, very naturally.
We never eat no more, huh?
So, Pop, I just want to do one more.
Okay.
Because Lane is kind of like an illustrator and a painter, because you be painting metaphors in the sky. As a matter of fact, now some of those stuff, you need to find the greatest illustrators in the world to illustrate some of those shit. I think it'd be some goddamn.
I've been looking for some illustrators, but you know, I send them at work and they'd be like, "Yo, I can't draw this." It's like I'm like, "What?"
Maybe you need to draw it. You draw?
Huh? No, my woman does. She's in the back right there.
All poets, all real poets are just painters with a pen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna read this.
So recognize the one thing. What's the one thing that is what's the playground in our brains? What do we call that? Our imagination.
Yes, imagination. There you go.
Is that not the playground? That's where you have a lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
You can sit and imagine a bunch of shit. If I'm a poet, my job is to reach your imagination. And one of the most classic songs that puts a pin in what I said is written by one of our greatest poets America's ever produced. Who would be one of the top, I'd say put him in the top 3. Who would be one of the top 3 poets, black poets in America?
I say Smokey Robinson.
You know you
Did I call it? Did I call it?
This man's reading my mind. He knows where I'm coming from.
Hell yeah.
And what was the song?
My girl.
Just my imagination once again, running away with me. The poet must reach your imagination. The painter must reach your imagination. The filmmaker must reach your imagination. Our imagination, that's the strongest part of our brains. You can be someplace surrounded by walls, they got no pictures, they got nothing. It's just you and the walls and the floor. And if you have an imagination, you can go someplace.
You see, Rainmaker is magic. He's magic. We talk about magic. He could take an inanimate object, a bullet, and animate it. And he got a classical piece called Bullet.
That's working on your imagination.
Yeah.
And he does it well. That's what makes him a
What's
very good
crazy
poet.
about that bullet piece is that I didn't want to write that shit.